Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this clip right here is a clip of Jessica Dime. Now, I kind of heard of her. The last time I think I heard of her or like saw her, was she on a Love and Hip Hop? She might have been on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta years and years and years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Her name rings a bell to me, though. And so I forget the lady's name that she's talking to. I've seen that lady. However, this is a clip, and I want y'all to listen to what she's saying, and then we're going to, of course, we're going to comment on it. But take a listen.
I try to do it with the thought of people are watching. Like girls look at me. Like when I had my show, a couple of the girls told me, they was like, I've been watching you since I was a kid. So I was like, dang, since you was a kid. I mean, I influenced you did I influence you to be a stripper? Because I never wanted it to be it, I just was living my life. I never wanted to influence nobody to get no ass or be no stripper. That was just my path. Because I know I got a daughter, and I don't want to be a bad influence on any of the women. Yeah.
Think about all the women you will be given permission to find their way and to become who they are ready to become in their next chapter. But what I think is so important is that you give yourself permission to choose you without having to seek the approval of others. That's important.
Everything I do, I try to...
I have two thoughts. The first thought is that these tears from Jessica Dime may feel real in the moment, but her saying she never meant to be an influence is disingenuous. My second thought is that was a bunch of nonsense that lady just told her she's given permission to. It's the babble for me. The reason I say it's disingenuous is because now you're no longer there. You're no longer, the super young, hot girl, stripper girl. She was on the little reality show making a bag and she popping off and this, that, and the third. And, you're living your life and it's glorified. You're glorified. You weren't somewhere just quietly being a stripper and nobody knew who you were and, or what have you. You, along with so many other women who choose to either get on social media or choose to get on some type of reality show or somewhere where they can have a bigger platform. The Zeus Network girls, the baddies, the these and those types of women. You get in front of a camera and you get in front of an audience. You get in front of a large platform and you do the craziest antics. You strip, you cuss, you twerk, you fight, all of these things, knowing full and well that younger generation, you have an audience. You have an audience. You're doing it specifically because you have an audience. You're acting this way because you have an audience. Okay? You would never be doing this stuff if there was no camera in your face or if there was not a check to be cut. So this is why I say it's disingenuous. I find this to be very, very false and very fake about who you weren't trying to influence. Knowing full and well that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are watching you every day, every week that the show air, and you know who the demographic of people are. It's men and women, there are more women than men. It's probably going to be when you talk about watching the baddies and watching these reality shows, the men are more likely going to belong to the rainbow crew. Very few legitimately straight men are actually tuning in to these kinds of reality shows unless it's a dollar to be made from it. Mostly it's going to be women, and then it's going to be young women, teenage girls. Who's watching this stuff? It's not the 50, 60-year-old women, the 20-some-year-old women, the women who, she's 15, 16, she's 13, 14. She's looking, she wants this glamour, because she doesn't understand at 13, 14, 15, you don't know the ins and out of nothing. You just see it on TV, and it look like people still equate being on TV and being famous with having money and all this other type of stuff. And then you glorify all of the foolishness that you do, only to then get in your 30s, get in your 40s, after you no longer in your 20s, and the it thing and that bag run out, and nobody wants to see you anymore. Nobody's, you can't climb that pole now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not alluring. It's not the same at all. You got to get out of that, and you got to find something else to do. And so once you come away from the so-called limelight, and now you got to live a regular life like a regular woman, now it's, I didn't want to influence others. Yes, you did. You did. And here's my thing. You didn't care who got influenced and who didn't. The only thing you were caring about was how much money you can make, whether or not this fame or being on TV or whatever could translate into $1. That's what you were concerned with. That was your concern. So you achieved what you were concerned with achieving. And it didn't matter to you, especially at the height of it. And when you were doing what you were doing, it didn't matter to you what other little girl looked up and said, you know what? This is the way that I want to be. Now you got a whole generation of young girls that think that stripping into rap, into reality show or social media fame is the pathway to financial gain or wealth or independence, where you can get the admiration of men and you can get $1, or you can set yourself up to use a man. Then you got the baby mama. We're baby mamas to the athletes and the rappers archetype. So you got to fit the mold for that. And then you got to be over here. These women don't care who get influenced by any of this. Only when they get older, when they can't do it anymore, now they don't want to see the young girls come up and do, spare me. And this coddling that this other lady did with her, now you're giving permission to choose you. Girl, I don't want to hear that either. What are you talking about? Let her, matter of fact, make her take more accountability than that. Call her to the carpet. Were you concerned about the influence, yay or nay, when you were actually doing it and when you were getting benefited from it? Was that a part of did you have enough integrity at the time to know that all money wasn't good money? And that even though I could make $1 doing this, what are some of the things on the back end that I would be accountable for and responsible for? Because I'm responsible for the message that I send out. I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for the things that I stand for and don't stand for, regardless of $1. This is what they call selling out. Because do you sell your values for the $1, or do you uphold your values at the expense of $1, or at the expense of those dollars? I can make me some dollars, but it won't be that way. I won't be making no money while selling myself. I won't be doing that. This whore culture, this, prostitution culture that these women have decided that they were going to propagate to their own benefit and then get older and out of the game, and now you don't want the young girls to think a certain way about it, you need to really spare me. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what you're selling at all. Now you want to cry about you was just living your life on TV, right? Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.